Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Treehouse Classroom. I'm Allison, and in this week's episode, we'd like to help you answer the question, how do homeschoolers have PE or gym time? In our classical homeschool, we focus on fulfilling the trivium and the quadrivium. Now, if you're already familiar with that, you don't need any further explanation. But if you don't know what that is, the trivium is basically the three-step model that the ancient Greeks followed in their education. It's following grammar for the beginning stages of learning, which is a lot of repetition, to rhetoric, and logic, and those are the final stages where the children are learning to ask questions and finally to be able to defend their ideas and their thoughts. Now in the quadrivium, it's a four-step model, and it focuses on learning things like music, arithmetic, geography, and astronomy. Now in that music stage, gymnastics is also involved, and you might be thinking of gymnastics as the flipping and flopping and cartwheels and somersaults. And yes, that is gymnastics, but the actual definition of the term gymnastics goes beyond that. It's talking more about developing and displaying physical agility and coordination. And if you think about that linking towards music, it does make a lot more sense. Music has a lot of balance. You have to coordinate one thing with another, harmony with melody, in order to come up with a good sounding tune. And it also applies to physical education. So in our gymnastics section of our classical homeschool, we have incorporated a lot of things that help the boys nurture not just their bodies but also their soul. Since we're made in the image of God, our bodies and souls need to reflect what our Maker put in us and what He is like also. God put music into us because He invented music, and He put the desire to move and build and achieve in us because He does those things too. Now, I have two little boys that love to move and achieve and compete and build and balance and fall down and all of those things. So in today's Treehouse Classroom, our classroom is going to be our gymnasium. Our homeschool does have a playground too, and it's a pretty good one. Their dad has built so many awesome obstacles for them, and they absolutely have a ball out here. They love recess, which we take quite often. Their minds need a break from all that mental workout, and they just love being able to come outside and jump on the trampoline or run through the monkey bars or just have a swing. Got a climbing wall here under the tree house. This used to be next to Lucas's crib. When he was 1 year old, he would climb out of his crib. So Victor made a climbing wall so he could do it safely.
Second was Lucas Fuentes. Lucas Fuentes, 27 minutes, 4 seconds. Falcon race female.
Now all of these things help them display their physical agility and coordination, not just in their bodies, but in their relationships. They're learning how to get along with other players, how to get along with their instructors, receive instruction, receive training, receive correction. And they're also learning how to become experts at that, to practice, so that they can then go on and teach someone else. Now, one thing I would like to note is that right now we're still in that era of the coronavirus where most of us are home and choosing to quarantine ourselves and separate ourselves from normal activities. And my boys have really been enjoying that. A lot of people previously unfamiliar with homeschool thought that homeschoolers were very unsocialized, that their children never had an opportunity to get out and do things with other kids. And now that everyone has had a chance to homeschool, they may still think that because we are all staying very unsocialized on purpose. But I'd like to help you understand that homeschoolers do have a really great opportunity to do even more than perhaps their traditionally schooled counterparts. I know that when my boys were in a traditional school, they had very little time for extracurricular activities. They went to school, I picked them up at the end of work, and there was little time for anything else but homework and going to bed. Now that they're homeschooled, we have the opportunity to engage in a lot of extracurricular activities. Now that's not always a good thing, as many of us are finding out. Having to take a break from all those extracurricular activities has helped us realize the value of also sitting back and enjoying quiet time. And of course, that is also a part of our goal in our homeschool, to find truth, beauty, and goodness. And those things can be found in physical activity. They can also be found in relaxation or just plain having fun.
Choose your partner, skip to my loo, skip to my loo, my darling.
If you're considering continuing homeschooling next year, just know that your kids can participate in any activity they choose. They can even do so to a greater degree because they have a little bit more time and flexibility to work with. So thanks for checking out today's episode of the Treehouse Classroom. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we gave you some ideas, and we hope you'll come back next time to see what else is going on at the Treehouse Classroom.